When I hear a piece of music, I always think, oh my God, this is so amazing that humans can make this sound out of nothing. There's the craftsman who made the violins and the bass and whatever. And now there's a composition and the music is so uplifting, really. That is called making a composition. And the composition in music, we all know that. But in drawing and the visual arts, we also have that. There's a composition, there's an order in things. There is white space compared to shadow or emptiness or the subject or the placement of the subject in the environment, the choice of a background. All these things are up to you, the artist, the master, the composer of the visual image. And there's no really rules, but you feel when something is out of whack. Just like with music, when it's out of whack, when you're not engaged, then it doesn't feel good. So it's subjective. And at the same time, we can analyze it. So for today, I have 4 different small drawings. It's almost like thumbnail sketches, which are small, fast sketches of different compositions, but the same object. So we keep the same object, but we place it different in the space. So let's look at that and let's see how we're going to make differences between the 4 of them. Let's look at the demo. So within your grid, you're going to make small sketches, basically. You tone the paper no matter what over the whole. I mean, I do it square by square, but actually the whole thing could be toned. And now you divide it even more in the same kind of grid, and you can still use the viewfinder for this. We tone it, we smudge it. Now it's important to see where's the light coming from. How do you place it within the square? How do you place it in the framework? And how dark are you going to make it? And is the apple lighter or darker than the background? Is there a strong light or not so strong light? How is the shadow? Is there one shadow or are there more shadows? How dark is the shadow? And now you see the negative space around the apple is playing a role as well. And this is for every drawing you're going to make in the future. So many times I see students draw the object because it's so hard, they think, and then they forget the background. But the background is always part of it. The environment makes the thing. The environment dictates how the thing looks. And again, is the object big or small? So now you can make many variations. You thought maybe an apple is an apple is an apple. But now you think, whoa, there's many drawings to make from one normal, simple object. And this is a way to study. Study the light, study where the light is coming from, study all of this. And whatever you're drawing, if it's a tree or a building, there's many variations that you can make. And then if you make them small enough, you can also do it really fast. And when you have all these small drawings, you can choose which one feels the best to you. Which one is the most appealing? Do I leave the foreground empty, or does it have maybe another item in it? All these things come into play. And again, it looks like, okay, this is the apple, and it's still the same apple, but that's all left brain thinking. We really need to know how the best way of putting it in the space will be. Now, there's hardly any background, but normally you do have a lot of background for something. You have a background of a window or a door or furniture, or when you're outside, there's a road, there's a path, there's a big tree, small tree. All these things are part of your drawing, and you should use them. Now, thinking about earlier drawings, you can have 2 or 3, or a low light, or a soft light, or an evening light, or a morning light. You can have almost being it almost dark, or being it almost light, and just have a tiny, tiny outline. This is what fascinates me most about drawing. Drawing anything. It's not the thing. It's the light. Because the light changes, and the light can be harsh, relentless, or soft and soothing. And this is the way that you can express mood to whatever object it is. It might be an apple, it might be a tree, it might be a house, it might be a person. I mean, drawing people has even more ways to express mood because of the emotion that the human figure can express. But things also can have mood, and they also can express something, darkness, lightness, togetherness, all of that. And once you learn to see that in things and you're fascinated, like I am, you will never stop drawing. Because nothing ever is the same. Nature moves all the time. Everything in nature always moves. And when you think about this being a face instead of an apple, then you know what I'm talking about. Because now you can also put expression on the face. Not so much on an apple, I get it. But you need to learn the technique first. You need to learn the hatching and cross-hatching, how to control your pencil, the movement of your hand, controlled by your brain through your eyes. All of that is a learnable skill. It's a skill. Now you can add your personal vision to it. Now you can add something to it that nobody else has, which most people automatically do. And that's your personal way of doing things. And also something that you see personally. You might see the world totally different than anybody else. And that is how artists have distinguished themselves. By feeling confident about their skill, but also not ditching themselves because their drawings look different than anybody else's. Big artists don't care. It's their way of doing things, and you can control that too.